First of all, we'd like to thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Gabriel and I'm with ContractorsPrepSchool.com, helping contractors become licensed professionals. So let's get started. So the first thing is you're wondering how to obtain a Broward licensed contractor's license, right? So you're trying to apply in order to become a painting contractor, carpentry, residential interior remodeling, whatever license you're trying to apply for. This is the right video, okay, for you to watch. So I want to walk you through the proper steps in applying for the license, okay, and what you have to do in the process that goes with waiting to get accepted and taking an exam and so on. Okay, so from beginning all the way to end. So the first thing we have to understand is that in order to apply for this license, we can apply in person. They have a link here, okay, or you can download the form. There's always going to be a form that you have to fill out, an application, okay. No matter if you go in person or you download one, you still have to go ahead and fill this form out. So I'm going to walk you through the process of completing the form. Another way you can obtain this form is by calling the following number, the 954-765-4400, and they can mail a form to you. But you can just download one right to the website. The link to this page is under our video here on YouTube or on Facebook. You can see it right on the description of this video. So make sure you click on there so you can be taken to this page, okay? Now, once you submit your application with the fees and the required documents, you have to make sure that you turn this application in 10 days prior to the board meeting, okay? So the board will meet in Broward County, look at all these applications and decide if your application fits the par for your license, okay? If basically you have the correct experience, if your credit score is what they want, and so on. There's many factors, and we'll talk about it later on, but basically they're going to accept it or reject it. And you want to make sure you turn the application 10 days prior, because if you do not turn the application 10 days prior, you'll be forced to wait till the following month, okay, or the next date where the board is going to meet. So just make sure you turn that to the office 10 days prior to the board meeting, okay? And then we'll talk about later on the board meetings and when they meet. Then the third step is the board meeting will receive your application, okay, and they would basically tell you if you be accepted or not by mail, and then you'll be contacted by Gainesville Independence. Gainesville, or better known as GITS, is a testing agency which Broward County uses, okay? They're providers for Broward County to provide the exam that you're going to have to take. There's multiple exams, one business and one technical. Okay, if you already have a Broward County license, you're aware of the process, but you do know that you will be granted or grandfathered the business exam, but not the technical. So you have to take a technical. If this is your first time, you will have to take 2 exams. Okay, now the good thing is that if you decide later on in the future, let's say for example you get a carpentry license and then later on you decide I have the experience to go get a painting license, once you pass the business portion of the exam, you will not be forced to take the business again. Okay, once you pass it, that's it. They keep that score, but you will be forced to take the technical portion. All right, now after you have taken your exams in GITS will provide the results. Okay, then they will notify Broward County, and basically the rest is picking up the form or picking up the license directly with Broward County once their requirements have been met. That means you turn your liability insurance, your workers' comp, and they approved your application. All right. Now, important things to consider. Okay, contractor certification includes an exam for the trade plus the business and law exam. So going back again, if you're going for a painting license or you're going for a carpentry license, you have to take 2 exams. Okay, one is called the business and law, or the business procedures exam, and then the technical side will be in whatever trade knowledge portion you're going to have. So is it painting, is it carpentry? All depends on the license that you choose, but you have to pass your exams. Now, a passing grade of 70% is required, okay, except for plumbing, electrical, mechanical, engineering exams, which then you need a 75%. All right, so now let's click on the application so we can talk about the application and how to fill it out correctly. So you want to click here where it says downloading one. So we want to download that application, and then we want to ask ourselves, now for the sake of this video, I'm going to walk you through specialty building contractor, not general, not journeyman, not engineer, mechanical. We'll talk about that later on in a different video. Right now it's just specialty building. So if you're doing painting, carpentry, flooring, things of that nature. So let's click on specialty building contractor. Now that we click on this application, you can print it out, you can fill it by hand, but we want to walk you through the application. So for specialty building contractor, you have to complete the application completely, okay? You have to provide an affidavit, okay? Which basically is a letter or a signature of a contractor that has the same license that you're going for, which is equivalent license or has the same scope of license that you have, or has a higher license. So For example, if I'm going to go for flooring, only once 1 year, another flooring contractor can fill an affidavit saying that I have the experience for 1 year, or either a general contractor, which surpasses the scope of flooring, okay, which can do flooring within this license, can basically provide me an affidavit. The next thing is you need credit references, okay, you need credit reports, and you need corporate documents, which we'll go later on and talk about that. So let's say, for example, we're going to go get a flooring license, right, or we're getting a finished carpentry license. We have to make sure that we look at the classification in which we're going to take the what license we want to get and the years of experience that we must provide. If you want to go for a flooring license and you only got 6 months installing floors, then you're not going to get accepted because they're wanting 1 year, okay? If you're going to go for finished carpentry, they want 2 years. So it's very important to note the years of experience you must have before the board in order to understand or see if you're going to get accepted or not, okay? So again, years of experience matter. All right, so make sure you provide the correct years of experience with that license. Now, appearing before the board, okay? The board highly recommend that if you have any concerns about your application, such as low credit, inability to support reference, lack of relevant experience or work, etc., you should request to appear before the board when submitting your application. This helps reduce delays and expedite your application. So in other words, if Broward County is requiring a 550 credit score, personal credit score, and you have a 500 or less than a 500, then again, they want you to show up before the board because then you can plead your case. You can tell them, listen, because of the economy, because I foreclosed on some homes or whatever the case might be, my credit score is low. But I'm trying to do everything possible to be a business owner, to be a contractor out there, to be licensed so I can make some profit, okay? And I can eventually get my credit score up and I can pay everything that I owe, okay? So I'm just giving you an example. If it's not providing experience, to say you've worked for this company for years as a independent contractor, or whatever the case might be, and that contractor doesn't want to sign an affidavit, and you can't prove your experience, you might want to show before the board and plead your case. I'm just giving you a bunch of different scenarios where you might think that appearing before the board is good. Okay. Now, if you applied, if you did everything, okay, and you know that you have everything up to par that we go through this application, you can provide them, then you don't have to show before the board. But again, appearing before the board can help you. All right. The next thing is that they want an affidavit. So if you're going to go for a license, again, you have to have at least, okay, a letter from a contractor, architect, engineer, verifying your experience, or a Broward County contractor, or equivalent or higher category, like we spoke in the beginning, okay, to notarize that. Now, if you're coming out of state, 3 notarized affidavits from out-of-state licensed contractor with license numbers included, verifying the requirement experience for the specific type of work. So the first thing is 1 letter notarized, which they provide you the letter, okay, affidavits from the state of Florida or Broward County. Somebody has a state license, like a general contractor. If you're going for flooring or painting, they can tell them that you have the experience, or someone that has the equivalent license to that license. Now, if you have an architect or an engineer, they can verify your experience, but that letter has to be notarized. Every letter has to be notarized basically here. Now, next thing is, if you're coming out of the state of Florida, you need 3 notarized affidavit letters, okay? And provide them the license number, provide them the name of the contractor, and notarize all letters from 3 contractors that basically are coming out of state as well. All right. Now, they're going to want some reference letters. So if you're going for a painting license and you know you've done job with Sherwin-Williams, okay, because they want at least a financial institution or a business or so on, then you're in good standing, and you have an account with them, all you have to ask Sherwin-Williams, for example, is to give you a letter saying that you have an account and that you're in good standing, okay? Now, if you have a Home Depot account, for example, it's very hard to get one from Home Depot. But again, all you need to do is prove a letter that says that you have an account and that you're in good standing. That's your reference letters. All right. Now, all reference letters should be notarized, including contact number, if applicable, a certificate of competency number. Providing more than a minimum numbers of required letters of reference will only enhance your application. Okay. The board may or may not consider at its discretion letters of reference from homeowners you have performed work for. Okay, so again, the best thing is to get licensed contractors, architect, engineers, just to be safe. Okay, I've helped out a lot of contractors, specialty contractors, become contractors in the state of Florida, and also in Broward County or different counties through the state of Florida. And one of the best affidavits is from a licensed contractor or a county contractor, okay, or architect engineer. When you start getting other applications signed by different other states, then the questioning comes in. I'm not saying they're not going to accept it, but again, it's better if they come from Florida. That's just my personal advice. Again, you can take it, you cannot. But again, this comes from someone who's filled many of these applications throughout his years of experience. Okay. Now the next thing is personal credit report. So get one from TransUnion, Equifax, whatever. Just make sure that it provides everything. Okay. So you don't want just one with a score. They want to see all your history. So they want to see what credit cards you have, how much you owe, okay, in that credit card. If you have any judgments against you, all that stuff, they want to see it in that credit report, and it has to be something within 12 months. Okay, so don't give them a credit report for 5 years ago. Give them a recent credit report. And don't be afraid. If you don't have 550, I've seen people with less than 550 be accepted. But again, that's up to the board to decide. You just got to make sure you be honest with them and you show them exactly what they want. If they're asking for a credit report, personal credit report, give them a personal credit report. Okay? Don't try to outsmart them because it's not going to work. Just make sure that you give them what they ask for. The next thing is a business credit report. So if you have a business, because you're going to have that license, right? And you want to put that license under a business, which is what I advise, an LLC or a corporation, that license is going to be given to you as a contractor, but you're going to be qualifying a business, right? So when you do a business a work out there, instead of them writing a check to you, right, they're going to write a check to the business, which is the best thing. Tax reasons and so on. Again, make sure you open a company, talk to your accountant or a lawyer, and make sure you get a business going on. If you have a business for a few years, then you're going to have a business credit report, and they're going to want one, okay, from Experian or Equifax, whoever provides them, okay? So make sure you provide them a business credit report. It has a score, and it tells them your history if you're delinquent or so on. Make sure you provide that in your application. If you just open your business, then what you want to do is, what I do in a lot of cases is that I go into the search bar, I put my business name, and if I don't find that business name, that means I'm a fairly new business, then I'm not going to have any credit, okay, or credit report. So I'm going to basically take a screenshot of that page, I'm going to print it, I'm going to provide it in the application. So when I go before the board, I'm going to tell them, look, I've done everything. I searched for my business credit report, I just opened my business, I don't have a credit. This is my proof to you guys that I don't have one. Again, I'm here to testify that I just opened my business and I don't have credit. Okay? So just make sure you do that. Now, they want personal financial statements. So go ahead, go to your banks, your recent 2 or 3 months, and print those out. And they just want to see if money's coming in, coming out. If you have the right finances to basically run your business. They're not asking for an exact amount. They just want to see what's going in. If you have funds to be able to control with your business. Okay? The next thing is corporate financial statements. So if you have a corporation and you have your bank account, again, make sure that you give them your bank accounts and stuff like that. You can give them that. Another thing that will work out will be to talk to your accountant and to show the assets and profits that you have in your business. Okay, so that way they can see exactly what's your net worth of your business and so on. But again, in a lot of applications, what I do is that I give them the financial statements or I give them my bank statements for my business. And either way, the board will take that into consideration, knowing how much money I have and what's been going on through my business. The next thing is if I have a fictitious corporate name. So that means I have, my name is Gabriel, for example, if I have Gabriel LLC. But now I'm getting a painting license or I'm getting a flooring license with Broward County. And I don't want to use Gabriel Inc. because it doesn't say anything about painting. So that's bad marketing, right? I want people to know that I do painting, for example. Then I want to make sure I add a fictitious name, like a DBA, doing business as. You can do it in sunbiz.gov, and you can go in there and basically create that yourself, pay the fee, do everything. Sunbiz.org, and you can basically get that DBA. All right, so again, you have to show them that you have a DBA under that business. The next thing is they want to see is business organization. So if you have a business created with Sunbiz, you want to go to Sunbiz and you want to print your articles of incorporation. Usually they're on the bottom, okay, as a PDF. You click it and you see your articles of incorporations. It tells you the officers that you have. It tells them the address and so on. You want to print that out with the name of your company. Then they want a page or a copy where it lists your officers. So another thing you can do is you can screen print right there on Sunbiz. As soon as you find your page, they will tell them the officers. You want to print that there and give that to them. Okay, and a written statement from the Secretary of State certifying the corporation is current. So when you open your company, you'll get a letter, right, with the signature of the Secretary of State stating that you have a corporation and it's current. Give them that as well. Okay. Then the next thing is certificate of insurance and workers' compensation or workers' comp insurance. Now, if you have a liability insurance, then great, provide them that. If you don't have a liability insurance or certificate of insurance, you can still turn your application. The application can still be accepted or denied. They'll Broward County is not going to issue you the license unless you have a certificate of insurance. So I always tell anyone who's going to go get a license with Broward County, specialty license with Broward County, is to make sure just get your insurance before you turn the application. Now, Broward County will tell you to wait, but then you know that you have that pending. Okay. Now, if you have troubles with money because you're turning this application, the application fee is $200, and you just don't want to do a certificate of insurance yet, and you don't want to do your workers' compensation insurance or your workers' comp exempt, that's fine. You can still turn your application and then pay that later. Just have in mind that if you turn the application, you're still going to have those two things pending. All right. So if you have your workers' compensation insurance, it must be basically written out to Broward County Code Services Division with that address in there, okay? And all certificates must provide at least 30 days in advance notice of cancellation, okay? They want minimum for your certificate insurance of $300,000 for bodily injury and property damage around $50,000. Now, keep in mind, that's not for everybody. That's just the minimum, okay? I know some contractors that would not want you to have that insurance. They want you to have like $1 million or $2 million, depending on the job you're going to do. So again, but Broward County is just saying, I just want $300,000 and $50,000. All right, that's what they're wanting. If you want to do that. Okay. Now the next thing is photographs. So make sure you provide them 2 passport-size photos of yourself taken within the last 3 months. All right, so they can put that picture in your license. So make sure you look nice, you get a haircut, or whatever the case might be, and take a photograph of passport size, okay, in CVS, Walgreens, and provide that with your application. The processing fee is $200, and you're going to make that check payable to Broward County Board of County Commissioners. Now, all fees are non-refundable. Okay, so if they don't accept you, then you basically lose your $200, but most likely they'll tell you the reason why they don't accept you, and then they'll give you time to get that experience or to fix things out. They're very friendly in Broward County, and they really want people to become licensed contractors if they have the right experience. Okay. Then the next thing is notification. So after the board reviews your application, you will be advised of their decisions by letter, or if you choose to appear before the board and the meeting, then they'll tell you then and there. Okay. Now the next thing is testing. So that's when we come in as a school. We can not only help you fill this application and walk you through the proper steps on how to complete this application and just giving you our tips. Again, I've been doing this about 10 years or so I know that I can give you at least some pointers to be able to submit this application and get accepted. But I'll say that again, just because I walk you through the step or I tell you what to do or not to do, again, that doesn't guarantee you're going to get accepted or not. Okay, the board at the end of the day decides if you get accepted or not. Okay, so it's up to the board. I can just walk you through the steps to make sure that you fill this application correctly. The board's decision is the board's decision. Okay, so then after that, we can help you with the testing. So you have to make sure if you get accepted, you have to take 2 exams. The exams are not easy. Okay, I have a business degree, for example, and when you take the business and finance exam, it's not just financing. It's not just accounting. It has to do with law. So I didn't go to school to be a lawyer. I took business and law, but I don't know, Florida laws, for example. So when I took my, state examination, I had to be very familiar, or county exam, I had to be very familiar with the statutes that are here in Florida, like lien law, like licensing law, okay, or occupational codes from the county. So they're going to ask you those types of questions, and I'm pretty sure that if you didn't go to law school and you didn't go and take a finance course, you're going to be pretty lost in this exam. Now, the good thing about the exam is that if you're taking a business exam, it's going to be about 50 questions, okay? It's going to be about 3 books. So it's not too much questions and too many books. But again, it's not easy because the books are not put well together, right? And when I say that is, the OSHA book is great, Chapter 9 is great, but when you go to the business procedures, for example, it has a table of content, but every chapter is like different statutes. So in one chapter, for example, you have like 2 different statutes, and you have to learn how to read those statutes and how to get to that statute. Some books don't have index. Some of them do have a great index. Some of them don't have such a great index. So you have to be very familiar in order to be able to pass this exam. And here in the school, we can definitely help you out. Okay. So once you gone ahead and pass it, the testing will inform Broward County, and Broward County will then tell you anything that you need to give them, if you're workers' comp or insurance, whatever the case might be, and then you will obtain your license. Now, you need to pass with a 70%. Now, one thing they don't tell you is that if you're wanting to go for a Palm Beach County license, you will then have to score 75. And the reason why is because in order to reciprocate your license, that means go to Palm Beach and tell them, look, I got a Broward County license. I want to become a painting contractor with you guys, or a painter. They're going to tell you, great, provide us the proof of your license. But when they look at your scores and they see that it's a 70%, Palm Beach, they require a 75. So what Palm Beach is going to tell you is you're going to have to retake your business exam again, and you're going to have to retake your painting exam with us. Now, Palm Beach has different testing agencies. They have GITS as one of them, and they have like Prov, and they have different other ones per metric. But again, just take it with GITS and make sure you score 75 or higher. So if you're trying to get later on like a tri-county license, like Miami-Dade you don't need to take an exam. They just give you your exam as long as you have the experience and you do a 16-hour course, which we also provide. And that's another video as well that I can provide in this link as well in YouTube. But again, try to get it higher than a 75 or 75. If you get 70 because you only want to work in Broward, then that's good for you. But for future references, just make sure you get a 75 or try to score a 75%. And I know that our course has everything you need to be able to do that. Now, let's go on with the application. So here you will attach your 2 photos. Just clip them. You don't have to staple them. Just clip them in there. You will click, are you going for a license, or you're going by license by reciprocity? So in other words, you have a Palm Beach license, now you want to go to Broward, or you're going from Miami-Dade to Broward, either way. If you're a new license, you click here. And then you will pick your category. So are you going for acoustic ceilings? Are you going for flooring? Are you going for garage doors? And the next thing you also want to do is look for the years of experience, like we talked about in the beginning of the application. So select your license. So let's just say I'm going to go for a finished carpentry license. So I can click here where it says finished carpentry, and I can add like 3 licenses to this. Okay, I just have to make sure that I have to pay an additional fee. Okay, so call Broward County to let you know the fee that you need to pay. But for one license, the application is $200. I think if you pick more, then it's $200 for each category. Okay, so again, just call them to make sure, but just click the category which you want to be licensed. Now, if you click on 2 of them, remember, you're going to take one business and finance exam for those 2 licenses, but you're going to be able to you have to take 2 technical exams, separate exams, one for finished carpentry, and let's say you're going to go for painting, then another one for painting. So let's move on to the application. The application is very self-explanatory. Okay, so again, they want your social security, like they say, like for example, notice of collection of social security numbers for government purposes. If they want it, you can give them a copy or so. Again, that's just for them. You're going to be saved, and they just want that. So you want to make sure you provide them that. Okay. Though what I do is that I write my last 4 digits, and then I'll give them a copy of my social. All right. But for your personal application, what you want to do is you want to put your last name, your first name, your middle name. Everything very self-explanatory. Business organization will be your business. Are you a sole proprietor? Are you a partnership? Or you're a corporation? Okay? Complete that as well. Now they're going to ask you, have you ever been convicted of any crimes or felonies? You want to be honest. Okay? And if you did, you want to make sure that you put that in there. Again, they're going to ask you yes or no questions. Make sure you are honest with them and you complete that application. Now, on page 8 is going to go over employment history. You want to make sure you complete these correct. So you want to make sure you put the date you were hired, or the month or year, the business name, if you worked under somebody, you have W-2 forms, the address, the phone number, email, the position you held, the reason for leaving, so you decided to open your business or you left, and the specific type of work. Now, I've seen a lot of applications, and one of the main mistakes that I see in applications to be filled out is that when they go into specifying the type of work, and they're going to go for a painting license, I see guys talking about flooring. Now, if you're not going to go for a flooring license, then why are you talking about flooring? The board only wants to see if you have the right type of experience in the license or the category in which you're trying to apply for. So, if I'm going for painting, there should be no reason why I should write in a specific type of work that I did electrical, because it has nothing to do with it. You're just wasting the board's time. Okay? So just right to the point. Look, they want 1 year or they want 2 years for unlimited or whatever the case might be. If you're doing unlimited, commercial and residential work, if you're doing interior and exterior, then I did interior and exterior work. I read plans. I got jobs ready. I was the main painter there. I control the whole job site. But talk about the specific category. Don't talk about categories that have nothing to do with your license. Then employee number 2 and so on. Then you have educational history. Now, you do not have to have a high school diploma or a trade school to be able to get a license. Okay, you could just not even go to school whatsoever, but you have the right experience, they can accept you. Okay, but if you went to college, if you went to a trade school or high school, just make sure you provide them with the right experience. Now, if you're coming from a different county, now to Broward, you want to make sure you put your certificate type, what date it was issued, when does it expire, that license or that certification, and the place it was issued, okay? Or certificate of competency and so on. Signed it, and make sure you take this to a notary before you sign it so they can verify your signature. Basically, you're signing that everything you're giving to them is correct and you're not altering or you're not lying about the application. Then this is where things get kind of tricky here, and I want to make sure that you understand this part, because this is like the deal breaker, okay? The affidavit of experience. You can be an employer. So if you had an employer before that you work for, you can claim employer. You can be self-employed. That means I was self-employed. I was on license. I shouldn't have been working, but they know that. That's the reason why you're trying to get a license, okay? You were self-employed under a contractor. Again, you can put self-employed, and then you put the contractor, the company in which you were self-employed by. You can put employed but no longer a business. So in other words, you work for this big painting company, they went out of business because of the recession or whatever the case might be, or they just went out of business, then you put that there and you fill the information. Now, if you don't have a signature of the contractor, okay, then you want to appear before the board, all right, and explain them to your situation. And you want to show them your W-2s and your pay stubs and so on. But if you have an employer, or you were self-employed, okay, and you have someone that you worked under and that can qualify or put his neck on the line for you, that can really say that you were there, you were doing that work that you're trying to tell the board that you have the experience in, then that person will fill all the information, again, from and to, okay, the total length, so make sure that matches with the experience that you're trying to provide to the county in the prior documents, the specific work you've done. So again, it wants to make sure that it talks about the specific category you're going for. So if you're going for painting, you shouldn't talk about electrical, okay, because you have painting experience. Any remarks, again, this, you were honest, it was great. This is the contractor, okay, or the employer writing this letter for you, okay, and then the card number, that means their license number that they had. What type of license? So was it a general contractor that's signing this for you? You put general contractor. Their contact number and issued by who? By the Florida, by a county, whatever the case might be. You signed it. Okay, the contractor signs this, okay? Or the person that's giving you that affidavit of experience signs this, and then somebody notarizes as well. All right, so that's your application. Make sure that you complete it correctly. If you have any questions on the application, give us a call, okay? We can walk you through the whole step, or you can call Broward County itself. But again, we've been doing this for so many years. I can do this with my eyes closed, okay? So call us 954-971-5383 or visit our website at contractorsprepschool.com. Another thing is that we are also providers for continuing education. So sometimes when you get a license, they want you to do 4 hours of continuing education. We can provide those 4 hours. Once you renew your specialty license, every 2 years you must renew it, you have to complete 4 hours of continuing education. We also provide those 4 hours, okay? So we want to make sure that we can help you through the application. We want to make sure we can help you through the testing process. And then we want to make sure that you keep coming back to our business, to be able to renew your license, because we also do that as well. Now, as far as turning your application, okay, you want to go ahead and deliver it in person, or you can mail it to this address. All right, whatever you want. You can actually call them, get an email, and you can forward it to whoever you want, okay? To whoever the Broward County wants you to forward it to. Now, if you want to know when to turn your application in time, here, okay, in your application, before you click on the application, which the link I will also provide on the video, you're going to see it says 2018 Central Exam Board meeting schedule. So you want to click here. Now, if you're going for a specialty license, for example, okay, or you're going to go for a mechanical, plumbing, whatever the case might be, this is when the board meets, okay? So you want to consider the dates that the board meets in order to turn your application in, all right? So again, this is like general building or whatever the case might be. When they meet, you want to make sure you turn your application before that, because if you turn it 10 days, you don't turn it 10 days prior, they're not going to take your application. You're going to have to wait till the next board meeting, all right? So again, make sure that you know the dates. Again, you can call Broward County, okay? And if you click back on the application for Broward County, you have a phone number here, which is 954-765-4400, just to double check when the board meets. That way you know you have to turn this application 10 days prior to that date. So this is the end of the video. Again, I hope that this video have been great service to you. If you have any questions, like I said, give us a call, 954-971-5383, or visit our website at contractorsprepschool.com. You can call in, ask for any of our counselors. We have experience throughout the years. We have helped over 60,000 contractors pass their exam, and we know that we have everything that you need in order to get your specialty license with Broward County or different county, across the state, or even a state license, okay? So this is for county specialty. Now, there are some specialty licenses here, like for example, like drywall and so on. There's a state drywall license, okay? That sometimes when people call us or contractors call and say, look, Gabriel, I want to do remodeling or I want to do drywall, I would ask them and I will see what type of experience they have to see if they meet the qualifications for the state. Because instead of getting a Broward County license, you might say, you know what, I want to get a state license because a state license I can work all over the state of Florida. Broward County, I can only work in Broward and I can reciprocate with other counties if they accept me. Okay? So just have that in mind. But either way, we can help you with any type of process, continuing education, renewing your license, applying for a license. That's what we've been doing for so many years, and we know we can help you. So again, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to share it. Don't forget to press like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And until the next one, this is Gabriel signing off. Have a great day.